ADHD medication. My story, my journey. What a roller coaster. I was given Concerta as a child, and pretty much the only thing that I can remember from that is I went from being a naughty little boy to studying quite well and actually leaving school with some half decent grades, and I didn't get expelled. But apart from that, there isn't really much to report, or certainly not much that I can remember. It certainly helped. It helped me get through school. But when I left school, that's when life got interesting, because I didn't realise that adult ADHD was a thing. And I spent the next 15 years of my life struggling. Main symptoms: tiredness, fatigue, lack of motivation, procrastination, feeling trapped, feeling like I'm just had a weighted blanket on and I couldn't do anything, despite having ambitions deep down of wanting to become something, wanting to become someone, knowing that it's there. But I didn't know why I couldn't do it. Other symptoms, like I've spoken about my journey with ADHD in another video. It was the first video that I did on ADHD. If you want to go and check that out, I would recommend watching that one first. But yeah, we'll stick to the medication on this. But in order for me to give you an idea of how it's helped, I need to talk about, you know, what it was that I was trying to help. And yeah, anxiety and depression I was diagnosed with, but I now believe that was a misdiagnosis. It was ADHD all along. I just remember I stumbled across something one day in my late 20s, and it was like, I think it was like a picture of an iceberg, and it was like the tip of this iceberg was like what people see, and then all underneath this massive iceberg that was underwater, there was all these various different things, and it was about adult ADHD, and I was like, holy crap, all of that's me. And I was diagnosed with ADHD twice as a child, like adult ADHD. I didn't even know it was a thing. So I've gone to the doctor and spoke to a specialist, and he was just like, you're like one of the most ADHD adults I've ever spoken to. Like, we'll sort you out with some medication, like we'll sort you out. And I went through the titration process with Psychiatry UK about 4 years ago now, and they put me on Elvance, and it changed my life instantly. Incredible. But wait, don't click off the video yet. So I started on 20 milligrams, and then I worked my way up to 50. But then I found that I felt pretty good for the morning, but then by 2 o'clock I was like, just nothing left. So I got back to them, and they decided that we was going to split the dose. So I think I was doing like 30 milligrams in the morning and 20 milligrams in the afternoon, and that was much better. But it quite quickly wore off, and I was pretty much just like I was before the medication, which was extremely disheartening, because after struggling for 15 years and then being given this little pill and it solving all of your problems and making you feel like the person that you were supposed to be and live the life you were supposed to have, and then having that taken away from you when you realise the reality of this medication and the fact that your body adapts to it, and there's a ceiling of the amount that you can take. Soul destroying, to be honest with you. Quite quickly ended up on the maximum dose. Then that started wearing off quite quickly. So then I started with the caffeine as well, and strictly one coffee, and then it became 2, and then it became 3, which brings me pretty much to the present day. I don't know what to do, to be honest with you. From my research, I need to come off, or at least taper down the dose, but I'm petrified of doing that because I know long term it's something that I need to do, but this is what they don't tell you about the medication. It wears off, you get used to it, the body adapts to it. 20 milligrams quite quickly becomes 70 milligrams, which quite quickly stops working. I say quite quickly, you know, it's been 2 or 3 years since I've been using it. My doctor, my GP, the NHS, from my experience, have been absolutely useless. I went to the doctor numerous times with my mental health. Once last year, I actually got signed off work for the first time ever because I couldn't cope, and the doctor just gave me a couple of numbers to call, charity numbers. And I was like, look, I need to change my medication or something because it used to work so well, and I want that back. I want to be that fucking guy again. Like, no good. Contacted Psychiatry UK. They said I needed a referral from the doctor. Contacted the doctor and they said I needed a referral from Psychiatry UK. That went on for months. And in the end, you just give up. You think, fuck it, like, you're on your own. No one's going to help. So I carried on taking, you know, what I was taking, but it's never been the same. Sometimes I have good days. Like today, to be honest with you, I woke up this morning. I've had a terrible morning. So I've probably taken a little bit too much medication and caffeine, which has actually got me out here and I felt compelled to make this video because I'm going through something at the moment, and I want to share it with people, especially parents that are thinking of putting their children on medication, or adults that don't realize that Elvance, Amphexor are amphetamine, like literally amphetamine. And people will be like, oh yeah, but it's not actually amphetamine, is it? It's kind of the same, but it's, the NHS give it to you. No, it's amphetamine. It's chemically identical. Look up Andrew Huberman. Is it Andrew? Andrew Huberman or Huberman. He's a scientist that talks about all this stuff. It's the same stuff. It's obviously weaker than the stuff you get off the street. I've never taken that stuff. Don't know what it feels like. Not interested. Probably all sorts of other crap in it as well. But yeah, Elvance is amphetamine, guys. And people don't realise that. In the same way that if you've ever smoked a joint or anything like that, you know, when you first start smoking, I've never smoked. I've had a little go every now and then. Many years ago when I used to go fishing and stuff, like over 10 years ago, 1 or 2 goes on one of them, and I'm gone away with the fairies for you know, hours. And then my mates that smoke all the time, the ones that sort of offered it to me, they'd have to smoke 4 or 5 just to feel anything. Whereas there's me, like 1 or 2 puffs and they're laughing at me because I'm on the floor. It's the same thing with this medication. Like, it will work, and it will work well, and it will give you a new lease of life, and you will feel like your life has changed forever, and you'll see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you'll feel incredible, and it will slowly be taken away from you until you end up feeling more helpless and hopeless than ever. I highly recommend, if you are going to go on medication, that you make sure that you have a supportive doctor or you know, medication you know, psychiatrist or whatever, because from my experience, I went 2 or 3 years and I didn't have a single review, and I was just being given the medication, and I should have had breaks. I should have been given a better structure, maybe 5 days on, 2 days off, or day on, day off, or, you know, a week off every now and then. I was never given that, and now I'm very much dependent on these things. I would say I am addicted, and I've actually said this recently to the doctor, and I'm currently going through a process with Psychiatry UK at the moment. they've pretty much said that if they make you feel good, then it's not necessarily an addiction. You're just addicted to feeling good. I'm like, well, yeah, that kind of is what it is, but they're not really working very well anymore, and I can't take any more because I'm on the max dose. My resting heart rate has gone up by over 20 beats per minute. I used to be 50, 55, and now it's like 75, 80, because I'm constantly stimulating my system to try and get through life, and that is what these medications are. It's the first thing I think about when I wake up in the morning is my coffee and my tablet, and I feel a bit like a junkie sometimes, and it's not a nice feeling. I don't like to not feel, especially when there was a medication shortage. That was terrifying, because I thought, what am I going to do? You know, I would have found it somewhere. Black market, beg, borrow, stole, you know. If you're going to go down the ADHD medication route, start with the non-stimulant ones. Ask for the non-stimulant ones first, whether you're attentive or inattentive or whatever, you know, bollocks diagnosis they've given you. At the end of the day, you're altering neural pathways with medication. You're affecting your dopamine system, the circuitry in your brain, and mine is fried. Like my CNS, from my research, I believe that my central nervous system, my dopamine system and everything is completely fucked. And I don't know what the long-term repercussions of that are going to be. Parkinson's, probably, if you look it up. It's pretty scary, guys. It's pretty scary. And, you know, I know there's going to be a few dickheads watching this. Oh, I'll just stop taking it, you know. Like I say, imagine struggling with something for your whole life and then being given this magic pill and it changes everything, you know. I'll turn my life around very quickly. You know, I'm a captain now. I drive boats. I'm an online coach. I help people. I help transform lives with my programming. I've helped change lives. I would argue, and they would agree, I've saved a few lives already. People that were struggling with their weight, that were incredibly overweight, that were unwell, you know, and I've helped them out of it. I get the imposter syndrome a lot. I feel like, who am I to be helping people when you're, you know, but nobody's perfect. And I have my talents, I have my abilities, and I have my struggles, like most of us. And yeah, like I say, you can learn more about that in the other video. But just be careful with the ADHD medication. It's not cool. And it's not a free ride, like I say. Increases your resting heart rate. You're artificially stimulating your system. And I have no doubt in my mind that there are going to be negative repercussions of it in the long run. But the body is very resilient, isn't it? As long as you're not abusing it, you'll probably be okay. But that heightened feeling where you'd feel like you can take on the world for the first time ever, and you can start seeing life and the person that you were supposed to be is staring back at you in the mirror, and you just feel it doesn't last for long. That's the reality of it from somebody with experience. I hope if you are taking it, you have a better experience than I do. I'm sure not everybody goes through or responds to it in the same way that I do, but you know, that's my experience, and that's what I've shared with you today. So hope you enjoyed it. Was it for enjoying? I don't know. But yeah, Transform with John, Instagram, Transform with John, YouTube, transformwithjohn.com. I'm as real as it gets, guys. If you want an online coach, somebody who is going to help you get into the best shape of your life, but also help you with their experience of mental health, spiritual health. I know my stuff from experience and from knowledge. And my son's running over because he wants an ice cream. Take some money out of the leaf, grab one. Get one for Ellie, yeah? Yep. Right, better shoot. Speak to you soon.